Okay, so I don't know how successful this is going to be. It's all sort of flowing, as I like to say. As you can probably see, I've just heated that and bent it, and it has crimped in a couple of places, but overall I think it's pretty good. Okay, right, this is actually attempt number 2 at the side rails. I will flash up some bits, or I'll probably flash up some bits, but my first attempt was on heating them and bending, and this was the first one, which came out quite well. There is a bit of a crease in there, but overall I was pleased with that. I would have gone with that. But number 2 yeah, applying too much heat in the wrong place doesn't have the same effect, so wasn't impressed with that. So heat was out the door. I haven't got a pipe bender, and for the amount of pipe bending I do, I'm not going to buy a pipe bender. Perhaps in the future that might be a viable option, but I'm not going to buy a pipe bender. So what I've decided is cutting. So you've still got the strength where it's necessary of the actual steel. I've cut out triangles to create the bends, and now I'm going to clean them up so they join a bit better, and then weld them all up, which will actually make one piece of bar, hopefully, tube, whatever. So yeah, that's the next stage. Give them a bit of a clean up, bit of a weld up, and see how it comes out. And I'm going to put the trellisy bits in to make it a more of a feature. So probably one down, one straight up, and one up there, and probably paint it all up, get it on the side and see what it looks like before I even attempt the other side. If it comes out looking like shit, I'll just make a side panel for it and cover the whole lot up. But at the moment I'm going to clean that up and give it a weld. Okay, just getting ready to weld now. That's what I call it. It's more like making porridge. I've ground the edges a little bit. There's a bit of fill to go on there, but that's okay. That's okay. That is definitely okay. And this end, I'm going to put an extension piece in there, and this will get sorted. So that'll be on there. This end will be flattened and bolted through on the outside of this. So I want a little bit over to round off to meet the frame, to tie in with the frame, should I say. Hopefully that should still leave me enough clearance to raise the tank, and I think it goes straight up rather than pivoting over this edge. Anyway, that's getting flattened. And as I say, a bolt put through that. This end, I was just going to put the tube right down, but I still need to put something in there to be able to drill through and thread it, put a threaded hole in there. So all I'm going to do is knock that right in, weld it up. It gives me a little bit more at the back end there for the hump that I've got to make, but ultimately I've got an extension piece then that, how far do I want to go? That far. I'll knock that in a minute. So that'll be flattened. That'll have that much stuck out of it, so I can alter that to whatever length I want for the bolt to go through. But that'll be holed and threaded. Now I'm thinking about it, it might be better to go through the bar, mightn't it? Because that's a bit small. I think these are 10 M10. Let's take one of them off and measure it. Okay, so that's one of the bolts out with the welder. Some of this. It's definitely looking like an M10. 9.8. So yeah, M10 bolt, and the tubing I'm using, I think this is 16. Need a garage. Yeah, that's 16 mil. So that's not too bad, is it? What's that leaving us? 7 mil. 7 mil, 3.5 mil walls. 3.5 mil. Is that going to tear? 3.5 mil. Oh, head scratcher. I don't know. It's the easy answer. 3.5 mil, 3.5 mil walls. If I get a central bolt hole, 3.5 mil. Because the top one's more of a pivot point, whereas the bottom one is they both hold obviously, but I think there would be more pressure on the bottom one. Well, saying that, with that crushed, that will create a 4 mil wall. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with that. So that one's slapping in. Right. So that is to there. That bar now goes to there. So I've got the choice of either going through the tubing or the rod. Well, the tubing and the rod, or just the rod. Let's make that a bit more definitive. So I'll weld the other end, get that sorted if I can. Sort it or ruin it, and then work out where I want to go with my yeah, so it'll either be a trellis subframe or a trombone. Anyway, let's get welding. Okay, a little bit snotty, but ultimately that ain't moving. No, yeah, not bad for a crane driver. It's when you grind it down you find all the air pockets. Sorry, that's in the way, isn't it? So, bit snotty, and that's the trouble. Do little bits at a time and then it builds it up and you end up with all these different blobs. But ultimately once that's ground down, I think that'd be pretty good. And now it hasn't got just the slots cut in it, it's already looking a million times better. Well, I'll say a million times, perhaps 8.2 times better. So I'm going to drill a couple of holes either side to do a, what do they call it, pot weld? What do they call it? A fill weld, pot weld, a rivet weld. Anyway, I'm going to drill a fucking hole. I'm going to weld this bar to this tube via the hole, and then I'm going to clean up this edge here, give that a bit of a doofering, and then weld all around here. and hopefully I'll be able to chamfer that in and it will look shit. But I'm always scared of welding, especially with this, because this is 2mm thick tubing on a 20mm diameter, but it's 2mm thick, so it's so easy to blow holes through it. It's for me anyway. Oh shit, I shouldn't even be attempting any of this. Anyway, we're getting there. So drill a couple of holes, chamfer that off, put a weld round that. Got to crush that end, clean this up, and then look at cutting tubing for trellising. Oh, it's non-stop. Okay, so I've done my holes. Oh, I've done my holes. So that's gone through the bar, the tube walls, and into the bar. Same that side. And then I've cut a bit of a groove round the top edge of the tube and into the bar, and all those will get filled with weld now. How exciting. How exciting. Man playing with man toys. Get yourself some man toys. Highly recommend. Okay, that didn't go as well as could have been. Get that light out your face. So the dots weren't too bad. Built them up quite nicely. Missed a hole. One bit both sides, so I had to do an extra run. But that'll grind down spot on. This one, again, hopefully that'll grind down beautifully, but I'm thinking I might have to revisit that and build it up and then chop it down again. But ultimately, there we go. As I say, well, I didn't say, but the tube I ruined will now be cut for trestling. So probably across there, up there, and there. I'll just have to see just how I've got to flatten that off, that end off first, to be able to put a bolt through it. That's what I wanted to weld, flatten that and weld it. Anyway, so yeah, as I say, I've got to cut the tubing for that and then shape the ends so it will sit nicely, and then weld that in, see how that comes out.